10.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Just Put Paint on It, your every Thursday and Friday hobby and paint show, where me, Skari, your grateful host, wonderful co-host Tanya, and even more amazing guests like Kerry over here, bow, hang out with you, the viewer, and we sit and chat about life and things, and sometimes just put paint on it. That's the whole point of the whole process. As you can see, I'm working on a cool little model called a Hell Goblin. It's not a Hell Goblin. It's a Helion, technically. I'm having a lot of fun painting this model, actually. It has been a blast. Probably going to do one more day today of some little highlights and things like that. But hello, everybody in chat. Thank you for coming to hang out. If it's the first time watching the show, this is season 3. We've done 3 seasons of this, and we're reaching the end of the 3rd season. We have about 10 more guests, and that's it. Then we'll be planning for season 4, which is super exciting.
So crazy.
I know. There's a whole playlist which you can watch, and it's all the guests we've had for season 3 that you can hang out and see a whole bunch of really cool people and just like put in the background, paint, that sort of thing. And if you like the show, let me know.
I like the show.
I like the show too.
I like the show.
Excellent. That's exciting. But welcome, one and all, and everybody. It is the 2nd day or 3rd day of summer now, officially, which is why I'm wearing a hoodie, because it's freezing down here.
It is a La Nina year, so it is raining like holy cow.
Nice.
So normally it would be like 30 to 35 degrees where I live, and I'm also in a sweater.
Nice. There you go. Well, Alex, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Le $5 says, paint all the things, rack up those models. Haven't painted a rack in a while, but I'll take the pun anyway. Thank you very much for the support. I appreciate that. Alexander says, I love that the Trueborn picture list keeps growing. That's the Incubi picture list, but yes, it keeps growing. Oh, that reminds me, I have to put Lionel on there, which I just got his. His looks really cool. He's got the cool glasses and the
It looks
beard.
a lot like him.
It does, right?
Yeah, so I was like, oh, it's Lionel!
Yeah, that's definitely Lionel. And he said it was peak nerddom when he showed his wife. And his wife said that he was a nerd, and then he showed his... he showed his kid, and his kid said that he was a nerd as well. And so he was like, I have reached peak nerddom with that.
Doesn't that mean that you're actually cool?
Yeah, that's totally what that means. So he was really excited about that. So it's really neat. And I'm excited about that too, because I love that we have that Trueborn wool that keeps on growing and being awesome. Which is super exciting for me. Okay, so introducing my wonderful co-host, Tanya Gates. Hello, Tanya. Please tell us who you are, where you're from, and all that good stuff.
Okay, well, I'm from Canada, but the other side of Canada, the rainy side of Canada right now. It's basically like...
It rains here too, okay.
Basically like I'm living in Vancouver right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought that's where you already lived.
And I have a YouTube channel, which I think I'm going to transition into just like basically making shorts because those take way less effort and people really like those. So I'm going to continue making shorts there. And I'm on co-host on Forge the Narrative podcast, and I do daily updates to Instagram. You can find me on my Patreon Discord.
Nice!
Yeah, and I am painting a lot of Night Haunt today. 20 chain rests.
Nice.
20 of them. That sounds like an exciting time.
Oh, it's very, very exciting.
Well, thank you for coming on the show, as always. It's a pleasure. And,
thank you.
Yeah, I love doing shows with you, Tanya. It's always fun.
Oh,
but introducing
ditto.
Introducing our wonderful guest for today, Kerry from. Hello, Kerry. You are. I know you mainly from your Instagram, but why don't you tell people a little bit about you, who you are, where you're from, and what are you working on today?
Okay, so I'm Kerry. Go by K-Legs on mainly Instagram. Started doing YouTube videos. I'm also part of Team Miniature Frontier. We page stream on Twitch. And I also am probably mostly known for doing 24-hour live streams, which we're going to be doing the Team Warhammer live stream. And that's me in a nutshell.
Very nice. I'll make sure that there's some links that you can follow and find out all about this stuff. But yeah, you've done some 24-hour live streams mainly for charity, correct?
Yeah, that's 100%. Last year we did a 24-hour live stream and we did it for cancer research. Tanya came on as a guest during this and saw all of the fun shenanigans, which were quite crazy. And we raised quite a lot of money for cancer research, so that was really successful. And yeah, we had a great time.
And you're going to be doing that again next week, is that right?
Yes. So the guys at Miniature Frontier, Matt, John, and Owen, all convinced me after the last one. It took them quite a while to convince me because I totally underestimated how hard staying awake for 24 hours would be. And talking to people for the whole entirety of the 24 hours. And afterwards, when you have like this small period afterwards, when you finish it, you're like, I never do again. I want to sleep for days. And then they were like, shall we do it again? I was like, oh, go on then. Yes, we shall.
So that starts on, is it Friday of next week?
Indeed it does. It starts on Friday, so it's July the 1st. It starts at 6 o'clock UK time. And it goes all the way through to 6 o'clock the following evening on the 2nd of July. And we're going to be doing it for the mental health charity Mind this time.
Nice. Now I will be on there at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is 1 a.m. English time. But Tanya, you're going to be on there as well, right?
Yes, I think my time slot is 11 Eastern.
Yeah, so you're probably around about an hour or later than Skari, maybe. Let's have a little look. So Tanya, you are going to be on at UK time. You're going to be on at 3 a.m. to 3:30 a.m. So I think that works around. I'm not quite sure what time it is your side because I know you're quite far away from Skari as well, aren't you?
I think it's like 8 p.m. my time.
It's one of the beautiful. It's one of the beautiful things of having, like a worldwide community when you're trying to do something like that. If you span multiple time zones, then you're the one suffering, and everybody else is like, "Oh, it's just the afternoon here."
Yeah, it came in very handy. I was like, "What are we gonna do in the middle of the morning?" I know. We'll get Skari and Tanya on.
Yeah, exactly, because we're on the other side of the planet. Which is exciting, but that's really cool. Now, this is going to be on Twitch? Is that right?
Yeah, it's going to be on the Miniature Frontier Twitch. So we're going to use their channel. So if you want to watch it, you can watch the whole 24 hours. I am only going to apologize in advance for how crazy it's going to be when you guys come on, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm also going to apologize to Tanya right now, because we made you endure a good half an hour of solid dad jokes last time.
Yeah, I expect it again. I'm my mental armor is being made right now.
We've kind of pre-warned people, so the whole thing. So not only we're staying awake for 24 hours, we were like, what can we do throughout the 24 hours that's going to make it fun and it's going to help us stay awake and be interesting for everybody. So last year I tried to paint 100 models in 24 hours. I did it, and I'm never doing it again, never.
Intense.
But what we decided to do this time is to do other challenges. So anybody who's watching can also tune in and take part in the challenges that are going on. So there's going to be painting tutorials. There's going to be different kinds of very interesting tutorials. We've got Byron from Mortis Opus coming on. It shows how to paint with the dry brushes that they do. We've got Lady King coming on, who's going to paint nothing but purple. And we've got yourself, Tanya, who's coming on. So I've gave everybody the hint to keep a hold of the dad jokes for your half an hour segment for that.
Perfect. I feel honored.
And then, Skari's going to come on and teach us all about what makes a good Drakari army. And so there's going to be loads of different challenges, along with some crazy challenges.
Just don't eat wasabi.
Yeah.
Just don't eat a big tablespoon of wasabi. That was
That was more than a tablespoon. Like that was a impressive
It was a
amount
lot.
of wasabi. That
it was a lot.
shouldn't have happened.
Are you familiar? I know this is a bit wrong, but are you familiar with the TV show Supermarket Sweep?
No, I don't really watch TV.
It's kind of like where everybody goes into a supermarket and they get told that they have to require this item as quick as they possibly can. And they go crazy. They go absolutely crazy, and you've just got to get it from the nearest place you can find it. So we've decided we're going to do a virtual supermarket sweep somehow. So this is going to be pretty fun. Yeah.
That'll be entertaining. Those supermarket sweeps, like when they they rush in or whatever. It's like a what is it called? Bingo? Not bingo. Scavenger hunt. There you go. Yeah, it's like a scavenger hunt inside of a supermarket, which is super fun.
Interesting.
But hello, everybody in chat. Thanks for coming to hang out. Let's jump into chat. Says DeGitman says being nerds is always cool. Heck yes, 100%. We're that nerd proudly, right? What time for the dad jokes this time? Anytime, Mark Cornate. And is there a painted mini challenge this time? Oh yeah, what time for the dad jokes? Is that, well, I guess that'll be 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, if they're doing it with the Tanya time. So it'll be
time.
It'll be 3 a.m. English time.
Yeah.
There you go. So
man, 3 a.m. dad jokes. You guys are champions.
You know what? You gotta brew them. You know, they have to be like cooked, well done. You know.
Why do I feel like you all have like a book of dad jokes that you've been collecting all year? Why do I feel like that's a thing?
Because
it kind of is a thing, and I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for it.
Every once in a while, you'll be going around, you'll think of one, you'll be like, I'm going to put that in the dad joke book of jokes that I'm going to pull out whenever Tanya needs a pick-me-up.
I went on to Grim After Dark, and they ended the show with a dad joke, and I was like, oh, you got me. You got me. It was the brown and sticky one.
It's so funny. We've got, hello, Nameless, what's going on? Shield your mental state with the power of Nust. Makes sense. And is there a painted miniature challenge this time? I think we just went over that.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be lots and lots of painted miniature challenges.
So Prankster says he made a belt out of watches, then realized it was a waste of time. Ha! Get it? I did. I'll clock that one in here.
Clock you.
It's brown sticky, a stick, says Sindri. Yes, definitely. I thought it was tree bark. Tanya roller derbying through a supermarket sweep would be epic.
Oh man, if my knees could handle it. Oh, they're used. Okay, so going back to my childhood, there is a store in Canada called the Real Canadian Superstore, and they used to have price checkers on rollerblades, and it was amazing. And I was like, that would be the most amazing job ever. But apparently, it was a liability issue, so it didn't last that long.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do? We're gonna put people on something that goes around really fast, and you could run into like little old lady that's trying to like walk around the store.
Yep. But I just thought it was so cool to be able to rollerblade too. This was like how old it was, because now I roller skate. But to rollerblade around a grocery store as your job, I was just like, that is the best. I want that job.
That would have been a fun job.
Yep.
I was never really good at rollerblade. Like I rollerbladed, but hills were like the bane of my existence.
Up or down?
Down. I could go up. Down is like I would never got comfortable going at high speed and then slowing down.
Yeah.
Like
it's easy on roller skates. You just go down backwards.
Nice. I would have just died. But
No, because when you go down backwards, you straddle your feet, and then your brakes are on the front of your skate, so you just put your toes down and you can like manage your speed going down.
Nice. But I always saw these people like go super fast down here with like rollerblades and then be like, and now I stop instantly. And I was like, I never got to that point where I was like that comfortable on rollerblades. But I could go.
I never was either.
I could jump and I could like do some like tricks and go backwards and like all this stuff like going on a flat surface, but like not. Yeah, not. I know. I did love my rollerblades though. I did feel really cool when I was like 12 and had a good set of rollerblades.
Yeah. I was really good at skating backwards when I played roller derby, because probably 75% of my time on the actual track, I was going backwards managing the play.
Nice.
Or I was reffing, and when you ref, you skate backwards a lot.
That's sick.
So yeah, I'm pretty good at skating backwards. I almost think I'm better skating backwards. Yeah, like backwards crossovers and stuff. No big deal.
That's so good.
Yeah.
So good. I'm more of a blader than a roller skater. Roller skater. That's like the most Jodie I've ever sounded saying a word before.
I won't lie. Sometimes I'll catch those videos where they'll get like people of different accents to say like words that should be kind of easy to say, but what do you have any words like that you think are hard to say?
Ghetto blaster, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, lookies. That's a good one. Looky.
I love the ones where they get like they say like random things and like just random normal words in different in different languages. I like that. That's fun. Like those videos where they're like, and then they get to like German and it sounds like they're killing a cat. I'm like, you just said pencil. Or whatever it is.
I'm going to admit something to you. There is a word in English. It's actually a word that we've stolen from some other language, but I should be able to just say it, but every time I go to say it, I have to like pause and think, how do I actually say this word? Because for years I could never say it.
Yeah. Dawnstone. What is it?
It's gazebo.
Gazebo.
Yeah, I could not say that word for years, and now I just have to really take my time.
That's such a good one.
That's funny. Hello, Zentiades. What's going on? The Gitman says, my real name is Jude, for those who don't know. Well, hello, Jude. Thanks for coming to hang out. A word we've stolen from another language is English defined.
Pretty much.
Pretty much how that works. Yeah. Was this
My
not-
husband and I were talking one day about like how ridiculous the English language is, and I said that's what happens when you steal all your words from other languages.
Hey, Cosmic, what's going on, Jared? Thanks for coming to hang out. Hopefully you're having a good morning. We're having a good time. I'm just painting some stuffs. We're all painting some stuffs. It's a good time. Today's an actual just put paint on it while painting stuff. So
I'm actually painting today. I feel like last week I didn't do any painting.
Well, I've been painting the same model for like 3 weeks, and this is like, it's getting to that point now where I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm, finally getting to that point where I'm like, okay, one more day, I'm just gonna put up, like, make it pop a little bit, and then I'm gonna call it. You know what I mean? And that's it. I'm done. And then I'll be satisfied, and I'll move on with my life. Where be the delicious glass of water? It's right here.
I have delicious bean water.
Bean water?
Yeah. Coffee.
Oh. That took me too long to put that together.
The brown bean water
Bean
is
water.
delicious.
Not bread water.
I had a cup of coffee today, and that was quite delicious.
That's bread water.
Beer.
Okay, what am I doing with this?
But beer has hops in it.
Liquid bread.
You know what? I'll give it to you because my favorite beer actually does taste a lot like bread. It's actually, well, it's not as good. It got bought out by a big brewery and it's not the same anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse, is there, when you really like something and then all of a sudden it changes after so long and you're like, no, it wasn't broken.
Yeah, you didn't need to fix it.
Well, I don't think companies give a flying fidoo about our feelings.
No, they don't.
They definitely don't.
Next time I come out your way, Skari, I'm gonna have to like do an order with Erin, I think.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, she
I'm not
brews a nice beer.
I'm not a beer drinker or beer savant in any way, shape, or form. So people talk about that stuff, and I'm like, yeah, sure, but I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't drink it.
It's endearing. I love that about you. Plus, you were my designated driver that one time, and I really appreciate that.
I totally was, and you and Alex McDougall had a couple of
I feel like Alex McDougall and my relationship is like half the time we've had a couple of brewskis.
I don't drink at all, for anybody who wonders. I literally am sober 100% of the time, which it's fine by me. It's not unnormal for me. People go, oh, like they're all like, I don't know. People get all surprised. I'm like, well, it's not like it changes anything for me because I'm just used to it, right?
Yeah, I used to not drink.
Nice.
Yeah, then I changed my mind.
Yeah, there you go.
I still don't drink a lot though. Like I'll drink like 2 times a year.
Yeah, see, I drink a few once a month, I would say. Not all the time, but I would say I dabble in a drink every now and again.
Yeah, I'm a social drinker, so I will not drink by myself. Only with friends.
I like this last color on the little wall.
Oh, what did you decide to go with?
Celestica Gray, I think, was like the key. And I just
Is that the blue white?
Nah, it's not like a blue. That's the. Is it a blue white? I don't know. No, I think that's the more administratum gray. Is more. Oh no, it is bluey. It's got like a blue hue to it. I think. At least I can see kind of like the blue in the pot a little bit. I never drink. Just Cosmic. It gets awkward at work outings. Sure. Sober from alcohol, but are you sober from being silly and fun on your Instagram? No.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. I'm always silly and fun on my Instagram. That's my drug. Social media.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
It's a little bluish. Tanya drinks coffee to sustain her shake she gets on stream. Helps keep the
Oh my
concentration from
goodness.
breaking.
So this past Monday, I was painting these dudes, and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna do all the highlights on it, and I had the shakes so bad, but I wasn't feeling that well that day,
Yeah.
so but yeah, I thought it was a good exercise in like being gentle with yourself, you know, like your body's not always gonna allow you to do the things that you want to do, especially if you have like underlying conditions and things, so you just have to accept like, okay, I'm not going to get as much done today. That's fine.
Silly body.
Yeah.
Silly body. I've been walking my son to school pretty much every day now because his school went from being an hour walk away to being like a 15-minute walk away with our move.
Mhm.
So we've been just walking like almost every day to school, and my shins hurt. Like I'm like,
You need
how is
better
this? How's
shoes.
it? Yeah, I definitely need better shoes. But I'm like, how is this physically possible? I'm like,
Walking is so good for
oh, I
you.
know it's great, but I'm like, this is like I haven't done it in so long, so consistently that like my body's like, I don't
What
know,
is this?
rebelling against me some way. It's like cannot compute too much exercise, break
I
down
guess
instantly.
shock to the system.
Yeah, and it's just like okay, well, I guess we're getting to that point of life.
Uh,
You know.
Man, if I didn't walk every day, I feel like I would be in way worse shape. Not like because I'm not in shape, but I feel like I wouldn't be able to walk at all if I didn't do my like 7 to 10 kilometers every day.
hmm
Just
Mark
keeps the old joints lubricated.
My Margaret Corn says it was 15 minutes and it was uphill both ways. Back in my day, we had to
In
walk
my
to school.
grandfather's boots.
Every time I hear that, I hear the Monty Python skit. It's like when I was a kid, we had to eat hot gravel for breakfast and then go down to the mill and work 15 hours in unhuman conditions. And
Do you
then,
ever think though, like, man, my childhood was so great because we didn't have any like cyberbullying or anything like that. We got to play
we had
outside
regular
and
bullying. What are you talking about? That
I
was
know, but they have regular bullying plus cyberbullying now.
sure, but it's like, at least with regular bullies, you could like at some point just like
Go
get
home.
like, you know what I mean? And then like well, okay, fair enough. Cyberbullying is no joke, but
No.
it's definitely a problem.
Mhm.
Where's this going? I
We had to work 30 hours a day, 8 days a week. You were lucky to have hot gravel. We ate
exactly.
our gravel cold.
Correct.
Uh,
Correct. And then we had to live in a
uh,
box, whatever. You were lucky to have a box. Oh man, I love that
um,
skit so much. Makes me smile every time.
Jared, I also had regular bullies, and I had to request to go to a different high school so that I could escape my like elementary school bullies.
hmm
But then I just got bullied by new people, so I was like, okay.
My dad was the founder and principal of my school that I went to school in elementary. And that was probably the number one target on my back for everything.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
That seems awful. It's such a horrible thing to hear that people got bullied, you know what I mean? Like, school's a
Yeah.
rough ride. School's a rough ride, isn't it?
It messes you up for a really long time.
Yeah.
Well, at least it messed me up. I'm still messed up. Like
I
I still think everybody hates me, and it makes it really hard to make new friends.
It is not easy, I'll tell you. and it kind of weighs on your mind, one of the things that I think helped me was the fact that I did move when like 7 times as I was growing up, right? And then every
Mm-hmm.
time, I don't know, like moving kind of did two things. Number one, moving allowed me to, I guess, like in a stage, I just wanted to like reinvent myself every time I moved somewhere, right? So
Yeah.
I kept on kind of changing and being like, nobody knows me here, So I get to like be a different sort of person. But at the same time, I never really had like a stability of like, who am I, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when I moved to Canada, it was like the first time that like the people who I met and interacted with and like have been around for a long time is like the first time I've had relationships that have lasted a lot longer, right? So it's kind of forced me to sort of like learn more about who I am as a person instead of like being like, oh, great, I fucked this up. Now time to reinvent myself in the next move, So,
That's
That sounds
interesting
like
because you seem so like confident and sure of yourself.
yeah, it's also a great defense mechanism, I would say, right? Ah,
yeah.
fuck.
Uh-oh. Did you break something?
No, 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 just giant color where I didn't want that color. My hand slipped.
Oh, dang it.
It's all good though. It's all good. I fixed it. I fixed it. I fixed it. It's that, because I need to make sure that I fix it because it's like a lighter color of pink, so it's gonna like pop out like a sore thumb if I don't fix it.
Yep.
But I'm really, I love this cloak. This cloak is one of the things I've had the most fun painting in such a long time because it's like so pink. Yeah.
Kerry, what are you painting? Are you building something? What are you doing?
Painting. So I played at a tournament at the weekend. Oh look, I've already got paint on my face where I've been like licking my paintbrush without even realising. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I was at a tournament at the weekend and it was brilliant and I was playing with my demons, which have generally been like added to and taken out depending on how well it plays in the army and if I've enjoyed painting. Um, and I was so super lucky and blown away that I won best painted. So I
Nice.
was like absolutely chuffed. And as a result of that, it's the UK, the Warhammer tournaments who host like the London GT. They're doing one in Nottingham, and I've just done the Newcastle one. As a result of it, they're doing like this invitational only tournament for people who've scored really high in painting or won best painted. So I've been invited to that. So
Ooh.
Nice.
I'm a little bit like going back into my army and adding to it a little bit more because I know that the people who are going to be there are going to have like absolutely incredible armies there. So I kind of feel a little bit like I was a bit fluky, and I don't know. I've got this weird thing of almost like imposter syndrome where I'm like, oh, I just totally was like, oh, it's just me and I'm just painting my models and that's cool. And I always see that everybody else around me is being like brilliant painters and brilliant gamers. And I just kind of want to kind of tweak my army and add to it as a natural progression to try and improve my painting. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm working on that.
Well, I will say that
So,
is awesome. That sounds really, really cool.
Thank you.
Congrats. Congrats for that.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
so
Yeah.
are you revisiting older models or are you painting something new?
So I have this thing. So I like to repaint old models as my painting progresses. Uh,
Okay.
so I'm going back into the army that I've been playing with and repainting the older models to kind of bring them up and give them a little bit of a refresh after a tournament because I'm quite heavy-handed, especially when playing my games. So like, there's clothes all over the place, so they need like sticking back on and stuff. So yeah, I'm just doing a little doctorate at the moment.
Nice.
Okay. Cool. Well, congratulations on getting best painted.
Yeah, I nearly fell off my chair. They were like, "It's this person," and Tim, my friend, and I was like, "Did they just say my name?" And they were like, "Yeah, get your bum up there." I was like, "Oh God."
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was a massive surprise. And I've been working quite hard on my painting over the last 2 years, so it's quite nice to kind of see it getting acknowledged, which is quite nice.
Hmm.
That's
I
awesome.
went to a tournament a couple weeks ago, and I didn't really have that great of a time. And I didn't even know that they had done the judging, like for best paint or anything like that, because like I was having a bad time, so I was outside and I didn't get to vote and all of this, and um, so I did stay for the entirety of the event, even though in round 3 I wanted to go home. Um, and I had brought like my old army. It was like one of my first armies that I ever painted. And I ended up getting 3rd place. And I was like, man, like baby gamer Tanya painted these. Like they're not great, but
Good.
thanks.
Well done. Excellent.
Yes. Yeah,
That's
so
brilliant.
it's kind of like lit a bit of a fire under me to like just get my 2nd Age of Sigmar army painted because I think it looks really cool. So,
That's good. I
yeah.
think it's lovely, there's something really like humbling, especially when you're not expecting something, and then you're like, oh, that's totally like changed my day, and my moods just went through the roof again, which is lovely. Yeah, I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that.
That's
I did
awesome.
have like a massive hit of the imposter syndrome though. I was like, oh, I really pulled one over on them.
I really struggle with it a lot, and I think it's something that's been embedded in us for such a long time that even now I'm like, oh, it's just me. I'm just doing this thing. I'm just like painting. Don't think anything of it. Or I even get it on the run up to events sometimes where I'm like, probably not going to perform very well, but it's okay. And then I think sometimes because of it, I underestimate what I can actually achieve sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think talking about it as well is I'm quite a closed person, but I've found that like just generally talking to people in general about things like this is really helped me massively. So yeah.
Like being
Does it
more.
like make you feel less alone or?
Yeah, 100%. And again, this goes kind of a little bit hand in hand of why we're doing the charity live stream for Mental Health Charity Mind is I'm quite a closed book and quite a private person, but even like the quietest closed off people still need to talk to people, and that's why I'm doing it for Mental Health Charity Mind, because Mind actually provide that place for somebody to go and talk to somebody if they don't necessarily feel like they can talk to people in the community, or if they can talk to family and friends. Like it's totally like so non-judgmental and with respect that they're there for that. But equally, I think it's so important to kind of normalize things, because I used to suffer really bad with anxiety, still do from time to time, and just talking about it and having somebody go, oh yeah, you know what, I felt the same way at some point, or yeah, I can kind of appreciate why you would feel like this, is just a little reassuring at the best of times, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's really quite valuable to have somebody just sort of like validate your experience as
Mm.
well. Cuz I think a lot of times we're like, "Oh, it's not that bad," or there's people out there who have it way worse than me or whatever, so we don't like to talk about it, right? But having somebody say like, "No, that's like I totally understand where you're coming from and like it makes sense that you'd feel that way." Like that to me has been really helpful. And I'm just going to do a shout out right now to Mr. Val Heffelfinger, because we were talking about my bad experience at the tournament, and because he knows kind of some of the stuff that that women content creators have to deal with sometimes. I don't know if you have gotten any of the garbage, but so he kind of knows a little bit about what I've gone through. So he's like, well, yeah, I totally understand why it would be difficult for you to reach out to strangers at a tournament, because you'd never know if they were one of the people who said awful things to you in YouTube comments, or who would send you DMs making you feel like you don't belong. I had never thought about it that way. I was just like, oh, I have a really hard time making friends. But when he said it like that, I was like, yeah, it is really hard for me, because I don't know if this person's going to be a jerk. And it was really helpful for me that he sort of validated my experience like that.
It's good that you've had that opportunity to talk, and people are talking about things now, which is better than it was before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think it's important too. So 2 years ago, I remember having a very similar conversation with you, Tanya, and I was like, I was very closed off and didn't talk about things because I'm going to be honest, in fear of talking about my feelings and how I felt about certain situations, because I might have been judged in a particular way, or I may have been passed up an opportunity by some people somewhere down the line because of something that I would have said. And I don't think that anymore, because I totally understand where you're coming from, and think it's so important now to talk about things and make awareness of it. So yeah, I completely can see where you're coming from. I think especially being a female, this is another topic which I know I shied away from quite a lot, but actually I think it's important to talk about the fact that we're female in a very male-dominated environment, and we are going to be walking into places that may be quite intimidating to people, not because people are horrible or not because people are put off. It's just intimidating to begin with to walk into a tournament room in a competitive environment, and then you've got that on top of it as well, which is quite hard. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I just feel like as soon as you've been on a bigger YouTube channel, you kind of see that there's still a lot of backwards thinking, and you're never quite sure if you're gonna meet those people, and yeah. Anyway, I'm having a hard time dealing with it all, so I'm kind of taking a step back from doing events outside of my local area, and just sort of focusing on creating a community around me here. So I don't know if Val wants me to go to Capital City Bloodbath, which is it's a major, right? Or is it a super major?
It's a major. It's 120
Major?
people or so. Yeah. Usually.
Yeah, and I'm just I can't commit to that. I had such a bad time 3 times in a row. I can't spend that much money to go across the country to maybe have a bad time again,
It's so sad to hear you've had a bad time, and I feel a little bit like I have been very lucky. So my experiences over in the UK, it has been very different to that. So whether I'm just totally ignoring that situation when I'm there, I'm not aware of it. But I'm very small tournaments that I was at recently was maybe 30-40 people, and everybody was really welcoming, and it's so sad to hear that you've had such the opposite experience to me at tournaments. So yeah, I hope you come across one in the future.
Stephen Box says that it feels different in North America when he comes to play. So maybe
Yeah.
that's something to do with it. I don't know.
Maybe it could be, but the tournaments that I've been to in the UK have been quite welcoming. The only one recently, which I will say, is the only one that I got really nervous for prior to it was actually the one that I went to at the weekend, and I think that was due to the fact of the size of it. There was 125 people there, and I think the fact that whereas the smaller tournaments, which have been like RTs or the smaller GTs with up to 40 or 50 people, I kind of got to know familiar faces when I was there. So I think, in a sense, I probably have done what you're doing now by surrounding myself by familiar faces before I went into a larger one. So yeah.
Yeah. And I don't like, and you go with a support network, right? Like you don't go alone.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'll go with like my partner and my friends if I can encourage them, because the distance to travel is far less than what you would probably have to travel as well.
Especially in
And I
Canada.
do, I do, and it's only been recently which I've attended one or two on my own solo, and I'm going to be attending one solo in London, and I am very nervous for that. I am very nervous to travel solo. It's hard to do. It is hard to do.
Yeah, I don't think that I'll do it again. It's been 3 tournaments by myself in a row, and I just sort of come to realize like I need to have like someone there, that I can sort of turn to if I need, if I need to vent or whatever. If I have a bad matchup, like I need a friend.
Yeah, it's a bit of moral support. It's a travel buddy. It's somebody that you can kind of nod to across the room and just check to see that you're doing all right. And if you've got lunch, then you can go for lunch together and stuff. I would always suggest doing that if you are traveling for a tournament, or at least talking to people online and regularly beforehand that you would know.
I think going with them or meeting up with them or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely like the tournaments. Half the time when I go to a tournament, it's more for the social interaction than anything else. Like, yeah, you go and you're like, as a competitive player, I'm trying to, compete or do well for the season or practice for like Team Canada or whatever I'm, at the time I'm doing. But at the end of the day, like going to a tournament and then going out for dinner after is like my favorite part. You're just chatting and win or lose, like everybody's sort of like on the same page at that point, and you're all just like talking about like the crazy stuff that happened in the day and that silly roll that made you lose or win the game, or that rule's interpretation that like made you scratch your head or something. It's like, okay, well, it kind of like it's like everybody's sitting around the fire at the end of a hunter gathering expedition or some shit, and it's like,
Yeah.
and you're all just like shooting the shit.
And
Yeah.
I've only had that experience once.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's just time for me to put it away.
You know what I will say, is if there's anybody like obviously watching in the chat who attends tournaments, and you're like, how could I maybe like help break down the barriers and kind of like be welcoming, or like help somebody's experience a little bit more. If you're in a tournament, and I get people are in a competitive environment. There's times in between games where people are going to finish their game sooner than you, or it's just the way that it goes. Nobody's going to finish their game at exactly the same time, and you have this opportunity where a lot of people will walk around the hall, have a look at other people's games, how they're going, or perhaps have a chat to a friend. If you see like that one person and they're on their own and they're just walking around, if they walk past you, I'm not saying stop and have a full-blown conversation and tell them your whole life story. If that's not what you want to do, you're not comfortable. But if they look at you in your direction, just smile, because a simple smile can totally change somebody's day, and I know it sounds really cliche, but there's been times where I've walked through a tournament and I've smiled at someone and they've literally blanked me and walked straight past me, and I was just like, oh, okay, and then just kept on going. It would be nice if people were able to do that, because I think that would definitely help.
Yeah. Yeah, just like, sometimes people are, oh shit, sometimes people do go by themselves. And, I always like, I always try and, say hi to people or wave or sit down with someone or invite somebody to come to lunch with you or, like try and like, especially if it's somebody's first tournament, if they don't come with a group, it's nice to kind of do that sort of thing for the community so that they feel a little bit more comfortable. And then the whole point is to build a community of people who want to go to events and then who hang out and then create those relationships for later into life. Okay, so I did another thing of the gray. I kind of want to do the eyes. Now, this is the hardest part of the whole process, is getting the eyes right. But his eyes are really squinty, so I don't know. I'm very curious how I'm going to make this happen. Sounds like be nice and roll dice, says Market Corn. Be nice, roll dice. Yeah, that's like a incredible motto. Just one of the reasons why I love that whole series. I think comes from the right place. Let's say, so that's that. Apparently I'm supposed to do black around the eyes first when I'm doing eyes. Okay, so black around the eyes first, and then a little like white dot in the middle, and then a little black dot in the middle of the white dot. Oh man, it's like it's crazy. I don't know. Do you think I can pull it off, Tanya?
Yes, but if I could give you advice for the future, don't leave eyeballs till the end.
Do it when you do the skin.
Yes.
Wah, wah, wah. I'm just terrified of eyeballs. Okay.
You don't have to do the black first if you don't want to.
Yeah, but they're like emo pirates. They have to have that crazy eyeshadow. Come on.
Okay,
It's
then.
like how that works. Crazy emo eyeshadow. Oh, I forgot to do this color. So I'm doing Sabrite Green as like, not Sabrite Green. Sabrite Green? Yeah, Sabrite Green as like one of my highlights. I forgot to do his highlight on his little knee pad. I love how much like you just do one little like light highlight of the color that's like the lighter color and everything just kind of pops. It's just like weird how it just boop. It's like tiny bit of like a lighter color and then it just like brings everything out. Painting has been a very enjoyable experience.
I'm trying to push my highlights a little bit more on these guys because on my characters I didn't do that, and I want to do actually less on the chain rasps. So instead of doing as much blending, I'm just doing like a brighter highlight, and I think it's working.
Nice. Oh, now, Kerry, do you have any sort of like painting techniques that you find harder to do than others?
Yeah, highlighting. I really struggle highlighting.
Like edge highlighting, you mean?
Yeah, I struggle with edge highlighting. So a lot of the stuff that I do is dry brushed. Or I'll do like object source lighting on it. Blend the shit out of it basically, and then if it needs a highlighter, then I'll go in and highlight where it needs to be done, but not like the whole model. I'll avoid it because I really struggle with it. I don't know why. My hands a bit, I don't know, my hands are never as steady as I would like them to be to do like a full model in highlight.
Do you wear eyeliner?
I do. Yeah.
It's the same thing.
I think, you know what I think I need to get? Because when I do my eyeliner, I get a mirror and I put it really close to my face. Like really close. Do
Same.
that. So I think maybe what I might do is I've heard that you can get like this, it's like a headband that has like a magnifying on the front of it so that you can see things much better. And I think I'm going to give that a go and give it a practice when I find one.
I think that figuratively speaking, Minnie's talked about one of those this week in her stories.
Yeah, she did. That's exactly the one that I'm on about as well. Yeah, tried a friend's on at the weekend just to have a look, and I was like, "Ooh, this changes things. This changes things very much." But yeah, I'd probably say blending is my forte, and possibly object source lighting now. Maybe not. I've managed to master, I'd say master non-metallic metal recently as well, which I really enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is cool. But
Well, I will say, I did a black Templar black like contrast paint. So it like blended in nicely to the eye sockets. And then I did a dot of just white.
yeah.
And it suits this model really well. And I don't want to touch it anymore because I feel like if I try and do anything else, I'm gonna mess it up. But I really like the effect. He's got like black, like deep sunken eyes with like two white dots that are very like alien. You know what I mean? Like very piercing. Oh, I like it. It looks so cool. And with that, I'm going to say that I'm not going to do any more work on this model. I feel like that is that. I'm going to probably put some...
Stop while you're ahead.
I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. I'm not going to try and go for it. You know, it's like, okay, I'm done. Done and done. Boom. I'll put a picture up on the Instagram later so folks can take a look at it. But I really like what I did with this model. And I'm very, very, very happy with the cape. Like that cape, all the folds, the blending, the highlighting on the cape, the skin tone's really good. It's like my succubus, but like, yeah, it's like another succubus without all the magnetizing and all the extra work. All in all, let's just say I'm very excited about that. That's really cool.
I'm excited that you're excited.
Oh, you know, it's like, it's so neat. So now let's see if I can get like a good, can I get a good... a good picture or a good
I'm thinking about doing a video about how to take better pictures with your miniatures with your smartphone and not much else.
Please, that's like my downfall is my pictures.
Pictures of your stuff.
Yeah.
I do yeah, it's definitely like an interesting part of the whole process, especially when you run a phone. However, like it's crazy how like phones have like more picture quality than like than a lot of things nowadays. You know what I mean? Like it's nuts how
you will always get a better picture out of an actual camera if you know how to use it.
Well, of course, because
see, that's my downfall.
Actual cameras are actual cameras, right? Like, you know what I mean? But
I was thinking about it last night because I couldn't sleep last night, and I was like, I really don't want to do Be Nice Roll Dice anymore. So what am I gonna do instead? And I was like, whatever the frick I want to do. And I was like, I've been tossing around this idea about doing a video on photographing minis because I feel like I've seen a few videos, but they've all been like, okay, you need a digital SLR and a light box and this and that. And I was like, but you don't need all that. You just need to sort of have a rudimentary understanding of how cameras and lenses work. And then you'll be good to go.
Well, so I'm going to watch out for that.
Yeah, I want to do it in like a long form video, but then I also want to separate it out into like a series of shorts as well. So I think I'm going to start doing that next week.
I like shorts. I like reels. They're really fun to do.
My reels on Instagram lose me followers, so I don't post them there. I just post them on YouTube. Yeah.
I thought that, like, I loved when you were doing this is how to do like heroic intervention. This is like what fight first is, and if you've got the fight first keyword, and this is how it would work. I was like, these are brilliant, lovely little snippets. And then you put them on YouTube, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch them on YouTube now.
Yeah, they do very, very well on YouTube, but they do really, really badly on Instagram.
Skari uses a flat back background. What? Yes. I know. I didn't. I just set up. I set it up. MacGyvered it. Okay. I MacGyvered it to make sure that I didn't have to leave my chair to do it. But normally I have like a table set up that I put all the lights in the right angles to make sure I get all the right angles for some pictures and stuff. I just really wanted to show off this guy with the light that I have, with the time that I have. I'm gonna put
So
it
I
up on
got
the
like
patron Discord right now.
I got like a selfie stick, and it came with this really cool LED light that like clips to your phone.
Nice.
And it's like rechargeable, and it just like clips on there. I didn't even know it was okay. So it's like obviously made in China, and you can't really read the instructions because it's like just a really bad translation. Like literally, it's a literal translation, so it doesn't work. But yeah, I was like, it came with so many cool things in there, and that cool like little clip-on LED light, and it'll like strobe and stuff. It's really cool.
Neat.
So if you have horrible lighting in your paint station, first off, do yourself a favor and get yourself like a cheap ass beauty ring light that's like telescopic. I got this one for like $12. So do
That's
that.
cool.
Because then you like I work through it, the ring light, so I look through it, and it just gets rid of all of the shadows on the model.
Nice.
And it's $12.
That's brilliant.
Everything I do is like on the cheap.
It's not terrible.
No, you don't need to spend a fortune on things. I mean, let's face it, like, the things that you can do from your phone these days is incredible. Like, you don't need to spend money on crazy expensive equipment. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure extra things like gimbals and stuff really will come in handy.
I
Yeah, you
paid
don't need to spend a fortune.
$40 for my gimbal, so it wasn't that expensive.
Oh my
Yeah, it's a gimbal, it's a tripod, and it's a selfie stick, and it has a remote. So it's got a Bluetooth remote, so when you just hit the thing and to take the picture or to record the video, and it came with the cool light. Like it came with so much stuff for $40.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, exciting.
Maybe I should start doing battle reports.
Yeah,
now that I have a gimbal.
If you're gonna do it. You know, let's just get her done. I'd watch it.
Yeah,
especially if it's
AOS. You wouldn't. You don't have time to watch it. Don't have time.
If you started a bat rep, I would watch the first couple ones you did for sure, and I would put a comment. I would share it, and I would support your creation of a battle report. So
I appreciate that.
Because especially if it's like if you want to do it for like the Age of Sigmar stuff you've been doing and all that whatnot, that'd be really fun to see. Like you have some fun, and I'd like to see kind of like how you'd like create it, if that makes sense. You know, because it is like a whole production thing, and everybody has their own style. I'd love to see how you like presented it, which would be really cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how I would even do it.
It would be amazing.
You do it by doing it. That's how you do it. You just film it, put it up, done. I always tell people, I literally show them the first battle report I ever did, and that's like the thing that I show them. And I'm like, if I can go from that to doing what I do now, you can do it too. Because my first battle report is terrible. Like, it is awful, it is horrible, and it is very, very bad.
But at least you knew how to play the game, though.
Yeah, that's debatable. You know, I've made more mistakes playing games than like I've made more mistakes that are on camera than anything. Just by learning how to play like different like factions. I make more mistakes now than I ever did because I'm like
I so needed to hear that. Like
I
I needed
literally
to hear that so
like
bad.
I fall in the I didn't read the rule completely and I played it how I thought it played and then I learned that that's not how it worked and I totally murdered all my opponents because of it. You know, like I've done that. Latest battle report, I've played a Sylvaneth Druthu pretty wrong and I was really excited. I'm promoting like this way of playing this miniature on the battle report. I'm like, yeah, this is a great combo. And then I like Gabe pointed out to me that that's not legal, and I was like, no, no. I literally built this whole thing around it, and it was totally not possible. I was like so sad. So,
Was the person who pointed it out to you at least nice about it?
they, it's Luca. When is Luca ever really nice to me? Okay, that's right, Luca. I love you. But no. He literally was like, you got it. He laughed at me a lot, and I was like, no. And then Josh has made fun of me ever since because I played against Josh. And now he just rubs it in every time. He's like, so, Skari, are you sure you read this rule properly? I'm like, shut up, Josh.
No, I'm so glad you said that. Like, I really am because I'm going to be like recording some live battles that we were doing in competitions. And one of my biggest fear was like, I don't know if I should go. Like, this was a legit thing. I was like, I don't know if I should go. And everyone was like, why? And I was like, well, what if I make a mistake? What if I did this? Like, all hypothetical things. Like, I don't know if I'm going to make a mistake. I'm hopefully not. But what if I did? And then they were like, it's 40k. Like, it's a game. We're having fun. If you make a mistake, you go, that was a mistake. You correct yourself and you do something different. And I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's nice to kind of get that little bit of a check and be like, maybe you're right, maybe I should just go do it. But yeah, I'm with Tanya on this one. Like, it's hard to get started sometimes. It's hard to see a vision. I like a vision. I like to see something where I know where it's going to go. I like to be in control of it and know the outcome and plan for it. And sometimes that's just not, you're not able to do it. And yeah.
Yeah, no, it is a lot of it is my brain like I've lately the last couple of weeks my brain has been hurting a lot. Like I'm getting to the point where it's been a year since I had a holiday and I'm like starting to feel it in my body. I'm like
Oh my
we're going to be
god.
going to out east again to Nova Scotia at like the end of July, just before I go to the WTC, and it's gonna be like a week trip, and I cannot wait to like
I
unplug for like a week.
I think I remember. You know what's so bizarre, right? Is I started watching SkaredCast maybe about 2 years ago when the pandemic hit,
Hmm.
and then I've come back. And then last year was like, I remember you going on holiday, and then I started going back to work, and now I'm back again. You saying I'm going on holiday. It's so crazy because you've been like the one constant throughout the last 2 years that is just been like it's mad. It's absolutely mad to like see that you're going into like a fourth series, and I'm like, oh my god, like you are just literally smashing it with this.
Well, I couldn't do it without everybody around me that kind of like props me up. Like Tanya, who like literally puts up with all my random bullshit, and like, you know, the community who actually like watches and stuff. You know, these things wouldn't happen with everybody around it that like let it happen and that help it be happening. But you know, you think about the fact that when we started Just Put Paint on It, it was just three of us shooting the shit, like listening to metal music or whatever, and singing and dancing to Baby Shark randomly, and
Oh, oh,
you know, it's come a
those were the
long way since
days.
then. It's come a long way, you know, a little bit more professional. I have a green screen now.
I don't.
Yeah, yeah, I
I
know.
have a table full of crap.
I've learned how to paint a lot better than in 3 years, or whatever. So that's a plus. So if anything, it's totally selfish because I get to practice my painting. Uh, but other than that, oh, well, it's glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that, Kerry, because you know, like the interaction with the community as a content creator. Like, I love it. I love it. And every once in a while you get like weird bad apples that like show up, but it's like at the same time I I turn it into mine. I turn it into my thing. Like like somebody keeps on commenting like downvote for Skari or whatever in like every video that I've ever made. And so I've turned that into a thing that I want to put on a t-shirt, and I actually ask people to downvote for me now. And so the person who does it keeps on doing it, which is now even funnier because they probably don't even watch the battle report anymore. Like, they don't watch it, right? So they don't know that it's like a thing that I've appropriated now. So they're like playing into it without knowing, and I love it. But oh
I
yeah.
just love that they comment and generate like
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
like extra algorithm juice for the things that
Algorithm
you're
juice.
in.
Oh yeah, which is really cool. Buddy, old pal, I haven't got my travel document back yet, and I'm like
Are you freaking out?
I'm like legitimately had a hard time falling asleep yesterday because I couldn't stop thinking about it. I'm like 6 weeks away from having to travel to Europe.
And this document is from Mexico?
No. It's my landed immigrant PR card.
Oh.
So like I have an expired one, but I don't have like a renewed one. And
did you just let all of your friggin' ID expire over COVID?
they did all expire over COVID. Like, when I wasn't traveling anywhere, okay? Like, I literally went in to get like something, and oh yeah, I went to get like we went to the bank, and they're like, because I'm starting an RSP, or we started like getting an RSP set up for like retirement and whatnot, and like, they were like, by the way, your driver's license is expired, and I was like, oh well. Let's just say I've been driving for 6 months with an expired license. Whoops daisy. This is in no case and form an admission of my guilt. Okay, you can't prove it. Hello, airy frog. What's going on? Riveting to see you.
Oh God.
You just hopped onto the show.
Stop it!
It's I can't help it, Tanya. I physically
I know you
can't help
can't.
it.
I know.
Yeah, there you go. Pezber says yes, more dead jokes. Eerie Frog says that's a good one. I know it's a good one.
You hate me so much.
Skari, you croak me up. Get it? Yes, the misadventures of... Hey, Mr. Fish, what's going on? Snap, late to the party, and some of my favorite people all in one place. What's going on?
Mr. Fish.
Thanks for coming to hang out, Mr. Fish. So I've been, for anybody who doesn't know, I've been going back to Twitch and doing some live streaming on Twitch finally after almost a year of not streaming on Twitch. And going back to it and kind of revitalizing my like the community that I was building on Twitch, but it's been mainly around playing video games, and I've been playing Total Warhammer, and I'm playing my Tomb Kings, and it's been really fun just hanging out and chatting with people as the little skeletons go around murdering things. Eerie Frog says, what we working on? I have completed this Helion guy, which was sent to me as a gift. And I finally got around to it, even though I've had it on my shelf for like 2 years. Finally got around to finishing it. Really exciting. Because now we can put it on the shelf of things that I finished that look really cool.
I am working on some chain rasps. I'm assembly lining 20 at a time because I love assembly lining.
That is sarcasm for anybody who has just tuned in. That is definitely sarcasm. Sarcasm machine alarm has gone off.
Yeah. I mean, I love looking at it when it's done and being like, yeah, I did that. But it's just getting there.
Yeah, it goes through stages, doesn't it? Where you're like, it looks I put paint on it, and I'm like, oh, it looks rubbish. It looks rubbish, and then I spend like another 3 hours on it. It's still rubbish, and then I dry brush it. I'm like, ah,
It's all good.
I fixed it! Yay!
What was it? The Scarcasm, if you will. Ha! Get it? Eerie Frog says I gotta work on my Space Marines. Yeah, good. You better work on your Space Marines. Now that Gulliman has gone down like 80 points. What in the world, Games Workshop? Apparently they really want them to play Ultramarines. They want Ultramarines to be better. So talk about that Balance Slate update. Boom! Necron's getting a huge bump. Boom! Harlequins and Eldar getting a kick in the teeth, and Tyranids, thank goodness. Yeah, take that, you filthy 70% win rate factions. Astra Militarum vehicles getting armor contempt, which is really cool. Lehman Russ's getting armor contempt is actually kind of neat. Means they kind of have like an invul save now with the 2-up save, which is kind of cool. Eerie Frog says, yes, Ultramarines.
It'll be interesting to see if the Astra Militarum win rate goes down after this one.
Again? We'll see. Look, we'll see. Like, if anything, I think what's going to happen is Knights are going to get more popular. Because, like, their natural predators, which are Tyranids and Eldar, have all gotten screwed. And so Knights are like, I played against Knights yesterday. I played against Chaos Knights. I got tabled in 3 turns with my 120 racks or whatever it was. I got tabled 3 turns. I died so fast. I was like, well, let's say that's not a good matchup for me. So.
Hey, but now you know.
That's why I like playing hard games, because I'm like, if I play a hard game, I understand how my army does against it and how long I can last in the worst case scenario. And by worst case scenario, I mean all 5 objectives on the table weren't covered by terrain, which meant I couldn't hide and hold any objectives. So, like, they were able to just shoot me off the board because I just couldn't hide, right? So.
Mm-hmm. I had a really hard game yesterday too, of Age of Sigmar.
Against a Team America player, but that's if you're gonna learn how to play Age of Sigmar, you might as well play against them.
Yeah.
Until after or until before?
No, we like sat down and I put my list out, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm on Team USA," and I got to play the best Night Haunt player in the world like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, "I'm not that person, not even close."
So I've played Sigmar. In comparison to 40k, how does it differ, and are you enjoying it?
How does it differ? I guess like the main thing, if you're thinking about matched play, is you basically pick a secondary at the beginning of each of your turns, and you can only pick it once. So if you fail it, you can't pick it again.
Oh, that's spicy.
It's pretty fun, yeah. Command points are generated at like the beginning of turns, essentially. So you don't start with a bunch. You don't start with a pool. Mm-hmm. And most of the commands, the command abilities, which are like stratagems, most of them that you use are like universal. There might be like a few others in your army, but it might be like, I don't know, 3 to 6, maybe. Depends on what characters you bring. And for me, I feel like I don't have to study as much to learn, right? I have to. I'm dumb. I'll just say it. So I really have to put in a lot of work to like commit the rules of Warhammer 40k to my memory. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I wasn't learning some of like the core concepts of wargaming because I was spending so much time studying, and I don't have to do that with Age of Sigmar. There's just a little bit less rules, and I think they don't change as fast. and there's less stratagems. So I can spend more time like playing and learning my faction on the table instead of like basically working on theory.
It's good though. That's good. So I don't talk about this quite openly, but I think this is a very good point to talk. So I'm dyslexic, and I find it really hard to retain information. So it's taken me a good 2.5 to 3 years to learn the rules of the army that I play. But I won't deviate from demons unless I'm like committed to spend another 2 years trying to remember the rules that I've got, because I think it's really hard.
Yeah.
So it's quite complex. It's a complex game, and that's why everyone's like, "Why don't you play a different army?" And I'm bored of your demons. I'm like, I don't give a shit if you're bored of my demons. I know the rules of these. I'm gonna play these.
Yeah.
But I actually really like the sound of Sigmar for that. Like, I think that's brilliant, and for me, I think that's really just made me want to play Sigmar more.
Yeah, if you do, cool thing is that you can use a lot of the demon models or all of the demon models in Sigmar, and that translates very well like into the game itself. So you can literally use all the models you already have and just play Age of Sigmar. You know,
Yeah.
a couple of things do change, like if you want to use different characters and the mechanics change. But the new, I love in like match play Age of Sigmar, that battle tactics thing is probably one of the most important parts of the game. Because in 40k, you build an army to sort of like make sure that you can score your secondaries consistently, right? Like it's a huge part of scoring the game. You have to score your primary, your secondary, and if you pick a bad secondary, right, because of lack of experience or because of misjudging how the game is going to play out or whatnot, like you don't score that or you can't score it well for the entire game. And therefore, it literally costs you the game in a lot of cases because you'll get bad scores. With the battle tactics, it's all about picking the right one at the right time so that you have the ones that you need to pick for later in the game or that you can pick later in the game available. But it means that if you pick one that you just don't achieve on one turn, at least you just get screwed over that one turn, and it's not something that just like continuously snowballs into being a bad decision for the rest of the game, if that makes sense. And so
Yeah.
you have to think ahead, right? In like, I need to make sure that monster stays alive until I pick the monster kill one so I can kill that monster or whatnot, right? But so don't pick that one until you're ready to kill that monster, or try not to get the monster kill until, that sort of thing. But it's not like, oh, I need to pick behind enemy lines or I need to pick banners, and then you go, ah, shit, banners was the wrong thing to take against this opponent, and you find that out halfway through the game when they're like, you haven't got a single point, and you're like, ah, crap, So
So like, I was playing against somebody who was obviously much better than me, and I misdeployed for the mission. I mean, there's a random aspect of the mission that we were playing that in the end also really screwed me.
yeah,
Because it's Veins of Gur, I think.
the veins of Gur. I love that one.
Which is the one where like you have to random roll to see where the objectives come out on turn 2 and turn 3.
Yep.
And they all came out on one side. And yeah, so just with the composition of his army, it was not good for me. Not good for me. But even though I still like I was playing against somebody who was much better, I still ended up getting some points. Like it was bad. It was pretty bad. I think it was like 16 to 45 or something like that. But like I still, until I got tabled, I still felt like there was things I could do. Whereas sometimes I feel like in 40k, if you've picked a bad secondary or you misdeploy, you sometimes feel like there's nothing you can do. Like you can't get any points. So
See,
that's the difference for me.
I've focused on the secondary and different secondaries that I know that if I do that there's a chance that I might be able to score points still. So for example, I have built my army strategically to always score banners, retrieve Nakmun data by putting things into strategic reserves so that I can just literally pop them on the table, not move them, perform the action and score the point, and then they get blasted off the board the next turn, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, but then I've done it to do that, and it's like, that's like my reserve tank. That's my minimum. That's like if I do like wrong deployment or pick the wrong secondaries on the other two, I've got that one little reserve tank where I've got that one little secondary where I can do that. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like you are at it, yeah. I like the sound of it. I like the sound of Sigma, and if you do battle reports, I will 100% watch.
And also the other thing is, like, I've been out for 3 months of playing 40K, and now I feel like I don't like. I feel like I have to learn all over again because everything has changed, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's like I don't like. I kind of want to go back to play the cards, like the card. What do they call it? Tempest of War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great way to kind of get back into it if you want to. I find it.
But
I love it.
I feel like I'm still gonna need to like sit down and study for 10 hours so that I can understand the rules again of 40K. So it's just like it's too much of 40K is too much of a time investment for me right now.
Yeah.
If you're having fun doing what you're doing, then stick with it because yeah, it sounds like you're having a great time playing Sigma.
In my local area, yeah.
Yeah. But that's like, sometimes that's all you need is just that, like, you know, that community building aspect of it. Okay, so before we finish up the show today, Kerry, why don't you remind everybody who's watching, what's coming up next week and how they can get involved, as well as where they can find you.
Okay, so next week, next Friday, the 1st of July, it's going to be me and Miniature Frontier are going to be hosting 24-hour live stream. It's going to be on the Miniature Frontier Twitch. It's going to be full of amazing guests. We'll have Skari, we have Tanya on, many others. It's going to be sponsored by Vanguard Tactics, SM Battle Reports. It's sponsored by Fox in the Box, Rival Crafts, Artis Opus, Battle Bunker, and loads of WA. And that means that there's going to be lots of prizes from all of our sponsors up for grabs, so you can potentially win them. A lot of the competitions, if you donate to the mental health charity Mind using the donation link, then that's you entered into the prize draw for many of the bigger prizes.
Nice.
But there are going to be smaller spot prizes throughout. And yeah, we're going to do mini challenges. So if you like painting, like you want to watch along and join in with the painting challenges, there's going to be painting challenges on how to dry brush, how to paint certain colours. I know Chris is coming on and doing how to paint yellow, which I'm definitely looking forward to that one because I struggle to paint yellow. There's also going to be, obviously, Skari's coming on to talk to us about how to create a really good Drakari army if you're into the competitive scene. And yeah, there's going to be a whole host of stuff. So come over and watch. There's going to be live updates, obviously, on Instagram, which is Miniature Frontier, and my own personal one, which is at KLegs, 2 S's on the end.
Nice. I'll make sure the links are down below. But Kerry, thanks a lot for popping in today. This was really fun. You got some painting done?
I did.
Nice.
I did indeed.
Mr. Kerry K says, I bet John the Cron is happy today. I know I am. Yes, the Balance Slate update today released was very kind to Necrons, and John the Cron has been blowing up my phone with all of the cool combos that he can now do that he's very, very excited about. So let's just say he's really happy. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Mr. Kerry K says, just got my first AOA army started. Soulblight starter army just arrived this week. Any pointers? Soulblight Gravelords, that's the one with the Tomb Guard, the little guy on the horse, I'm assuming, and I think does it come with dogs in it or zombies? Anyway, I don't remember what else comes in it. I haven't played Soulblight in a while, so I've been playing a lot of Sylvaneth. However, get yourself a Nagash, because Nagash is really awesome, and he's a great centerpiece, and that's half the amount of points in your army, so you don't have to buy as many models. However, with the new season, um, zombies. Get a bazillion zombies. They are
No,
so
you don't
good.
need a bazillion anymore.
Just get 2 units of 60, okay? So get
There you go.
120 zombies,
That's all you need.
which they all will count as 3 models on an objective each with the new season. And
You still gotta be careful though, because bounty hunters are gonna be really good at killing
100%.
them.
The
So.
zombies are zombies, and they're amazing, and I love them, and they're so good. They're just so silly. Although Graveguard would be really good now too.
Graveguard are very good.
Graveguard, I think a unit of bounty hunter Graveguard to go and like murder would be really good. With their 2 damage like glaives or anyway, just say I think they're gonna be pretty neat. But hopefully the 40 zombies half Bat Vampire Dude and Blood Knights. Oh, that one, nice. Yeah, so 40 zombies, get yourself another 20. Vampire, if you can get a vampire on a zombie dragon, he's really good, or a vampire on a Vargulf or whatever. Yeah, zombie dragon vampire, he's really killy. The Blood Knights are good. They go around stomp eel stuff. But you get yourself some puppies, zombie puppies. These things.
Those things are really good too, because they can be summoned in too.
Yeah, they're summonable.
They move real fast.
They're super fast. They're super cheap. They get resurrected.
Great
they're really
screening unit.
Nice. Okay, so you seem to be on the right track, Mr. Karike. But yeah, if you want, just send me a message privately on Discord or on Facebook, and I'll give you some more pointers as well. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Tanya, before we finish out, when you tell people where they can find you and what you're up to.
Okay. Well, you can find me on YouTube, my Patreon, Discord, Instagram, and Forge the Narrative podcast. But tonight I am also the guest on Heroes Brush Hour. So I have 1 hour to paint this stone golem. I'm gonna slap chop it, so we'll see how that goes. But that'll be at 7 p.m. Pacific on Heroes Brush Hour Twitch.
Nice. I'm a big fan of that stuff. I like it. I'm on Heroes Brush Hour, I think, next week, I believe.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna take the challenge. We'll see. We'll see what we do. It'll be fun times. It'll be fun times, I say. And I'm gonna totally crush you, Dan.
Oh, the Mexican face-off.
I think so. I think I'm gonna be challenging Dan the Man. I wore his T-shirt, the Lonely Havoc T-shirt.
I saw it.
And everybody was like, "That is a hilarious T-shirt. How do I get one?" I was like, "You have to do a T-shirt."
I don't think he makes it anymore.
Really? It's like such a good one too.
I know.
I was too busy painting the comments as Jim Jones. Thanks for the stream though. Thanks a lot for hanging out. With that, we'll finish the stream. We'll be back tomorrow with more amazing guests. Make sure you check out the entire series if you'd like. Season 3, it's on the playlist. And if you'd like to support the channel, head on over to Patreon and sub to me on Patreon so I can do more of this stuff. The Denizen community is literally what finances this whole operation. So you're all amazing. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. And I've been Skari. This has been Kerry. This has been Tanya. Signing off until next time. And don't forget to hashtag just put paint on it. Would you like to say in Espanol? Píntalo.
Píntalo.
Bye, everybody.
Ciao.
La 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 la.